Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm Pastor Lee Ship with A Call to the Heart presents the 2-minute warning. And I just want to let you know that our book is now available. I'm really excited that it is out, Restoring Worship, Recovering a Collapsed and Society that can only be recovered by the power of God. This is an incredible book. We've received many wonderful recommendations and reviews from it. And so it's available on Amazon. You can just put in search Restoring Worship and it'll come up. You could contact the church. We'd be happy to get you a copy. You can look at our profile here, and also there'll be a link in order for you to get the book. So I pray that you do, and let us know if you do get it. Let us know if it's been a blessing to you. I pray this program's been a blessing to you, and I ask today that the Lord will really bless you today and encourage you through this word that I have for you. I wanted to talk about this incident that happened with Jesus and his disciples. Jesus had been ministering to the people and the crowds, and it was time that they had to cross over the Sea of Galilee. And so he told his disciples to get into the boat, and they were going to cross over. And there was a lot of other little ships that were with them that were going across. But Jesus obviously was tired. He had been working and ministering all day long. And so he goes into the lower part of the ship and he falls asleep. And while Jesus is asleep, this horrific storm just begins to rage upon the sea. And these guys are fishermen. I mean, they live their life on the water. They knew this was not a normal kind of storm. We are in jeopardy. We're probably going to die. And so Jesus is sleeping. And I love what they did. And I wanted to bring this out to you because I think it's important that we just become honest with God. Like when you read the Psalms, these guys that prayed to God, they were honest. Like they were talking about, God, I'm down, I'm discouraged, I'm depressed. Why am I this way? Sometimes they would even say, God, have you forgotten to be compassionate? Help me. So in this episode with the disciples in in Mark chapter 4, as they're going to the other side and the water is coming into the boat, they come to Jesus and they say this in verse 38. They woke him up and they said, Master, don't you care that we perish? And I just think there might be some of you in this place today. Like you're really struggling to see God in your life. You're really struggling to see God's help. You're discouraged and your faith is weak. And, you know, it's a reality. I'm not asking you to hide in shame because of that. I'm asking you to be honest with it and really turn to the Lord, if you will, and wake him up. Like, Lord, it's me and I'm going through something really hard. Don't you care? And I'm so grateful the disciples asked that question. Sometimes the Lord does things in our life that it just doesn't make sense to us. And it might seem as though God doesn't care. I'll give you a couple of more examples from the Bible. And there was one where John the Baptist is in prison and he's about to give his life. And he has a concern. And he gets one of his disciples and he says, would you go find Jesus and just ask him, just make sure, are you the one? Because John knows he's about to die and he just needs to know. And so it's interesting. Jesus says, go tell John that the dead are raised, the cripple walk, the blind see, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And that was the message that was sent back to John. And it just seems strange, you know, it's like, man, tell John I love him. He's my cousin. He's a prophet that was raised up even by me to proclaim my coming. And there wasn't a lot of these sympathetic words that were sent back to John. And sometimes God's ways are just strange. Like when Lazarus died and they sent for Jesus to come heal him. And Jesus didn't go. He's about 10 miles away and he didn't go. And Lazarus died. And I don't know what he died from. I would imagine it was painful, but Jesus didn't go heal him. Jesus didn't even go to the funeral. And Mary and Martha and Lazarus believed that Jesus loved them. Why didn't he come? What kind of love is this? And maybe you're dealing with that today. I wanted to just read a little excerpt to you. Like John, we all come face to face with questions for God. It is unavoidable because every believer imagines his God to be a certain way, and it's quite sure his Lord will do certain things under certain conditions. But your Lord is never quite what you imagined him to be. And now you come face to face with a God you do not fully understand, a God who has not lived up to your expectations. All believers must come to grips with a God who didn't do things as expected, a God who says no and still demands to be trusted as love. If you're going to know the Lord, it will be by faith, or you will not know him at all. And this is why we really don't want God to be sovereign. We want a God we can manage, a God who meets my expectations, a God who doesn't require faith. We want this transaction with God. I'll do this, and therefore you have to do that. That's what we want. The question is not, why does he not answer me? The question is not, I need him desperately. Why doesn't he come rescue me? The question is not, why did God allow this tragedy to happen to me, to my children, my wife, my husband, my family? And nor is the question, why does God allow injustices? The question is this, will you follow a God you don't understand? Will you follow a God who does not live up to your expectations? Your Lord has put something in your life which you cannot bear. The burden is simply too great. He was never, in your mind, supposed to do this. But the question remains, will you continue to follow this God who did not live up to your expectations? Today, you're resentful. You claim it is due to those who hurt you, or life, or circumstances. But the truth may be that you're angry with God. You have expectations of him. And like the disciples, you also want to ask, do you care? Do you care that I perish? And when we, in faith, hold to God, trust in the Lord, as all of these examples testify of, we will see his glory. Let me close with this. You believe the devil to be bad every day. Sometimes people have more expectations of the devil to be bad than God to be good. But we believe him to be bad, and I tell you, believe God to be good. Believe that God's going to come through. He may not live up to your expectations, but I promise you this, what he does do will far exceed anything you expected, and it will be glorious. Like he did for the disciples in the boat when they woke him up and said, don't you care? He just spoke a word, peace be still. And the winds and the waves stopped. And they were like, wow, what kind of a man is this? God wants to do something like that in your life. Maybe not what you want him to do, but what he will do will cause you to be an absolute wonder. What a God! What a God! I assure you of that. If you don't abandon him, you'll see his glory. God bless you.
This was the 2-Minute Warning with a Call to the Heart, a ministry of Pastor Lee Shipp. Thanks for joining us. You can find all episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and our Facebook page. Don't forget to like and subscribe. For more information, please call 225-222-5255 293-2222 or email us at ctoh@fntchurch.org.